which is that the Republicans, including you, January 6th, et cetera, are the ones who are no longer willing to play by the rules of democracy. It seems like...
Listen, I believe passionately in democracy, and I also believe voter fraud is a real and persistent problem. And it's weird that Democrats have taken the view...
It's been studied.
Okay, so you don't think it is, but you know what? I have never once seen you or any other host ask Hillary Clinton why she said in 2016 that Donald Trump was an illegitimate president. I've never seen... You asked Democrats why they objected to the presidential certification in 2001. That was George W. Bush. In 2005, that was George W. Bush. And in 2016, that was Donald Trump. And so I don't think we should be have a double standard.
Bill Maher invited Ted Cruz onto Real Time with Bill Maher, and things quickly escalated when the topic of election fraud and integrity came up. Honestly, this entire debate feels absurd. There are some states, like Florida, that took election integrity seriously between 2020 and 2024. The moment the polls closed, results were in within an hour, including detailed updates on down-ballot races. But then, you have states like Arizona, California, and others on the West Coast where it took an entire week to determine the presidential winner, and even longer, sometimes up to 3 weeks, for down-ballot results. That's just unacceptable. Delays like that create too much room for foul play. It's 2025. There's no excuse for vote counting to drag on for weeks. Every state, county, and district needs to prioritize election integrity. But, of course, Bill Maher doesn't seem to agree. Let's dive into this heated exchange where Ted Cruz completely shuts down Maher's argument on election integrity.
We're having such a good time, but now you're going to have to answer for stunning on the causeway. Okay, so... I'm just saying, because stand up, you're one of 11 senators who voted not to certify the last election. Okay, one of 11. Do you think Biden didn't win?
Look, Biden is clearly the president.
Well, that's not the question or the answer. Do you think he won? Was it a fair election?
No, those are very different questions.
Okay.
Did he win and is he the president? Yes. Was it fair? Look, there were lots of things that were unfair about the last election.
But it's been combed over more than any election ever, even by the people on your side, and they say it's not. This is from your book. You say, Democrats, whose capacity for shamelessness never ceases to astound me, were no longer willing to play by the rules of democracy. Now, I know you're funny now, but is that a joke? The Democrats don't want to play by the rules of democracy?
What was the context before and after that? I'm sorry, the one sentence I'm not remembering.
Well, I don't know, but you wrote that. The Democrats are no longer willing to play by the rules of democracy. I wanted to read it because I feel like it's the exact opposite of what I think, which is that the Republicans, including you, January 6th, et cetera, are the ones who are no longer willing to play by the rules of democracy. It seems like...
Isn't it so? It's crazy how both Bill Maher and Ted Cruz can look at the same situation and come to completely opposite conclusions. They're seeing the same reality, yet interpreting it in entirely different ways. This is exactly why I don't believe in the idea of political unity anymore. Some, like Patrick Bet-David, try to stay hopeful about the future, but I just don't see it. When people can't even agree on basic facts, how are we supposed to move forward together? Maher claims that Republicans are the ones threatening democracy, yet the very politicians he supports are actively trying to jail their political opponents, not for crimes, but simply for political reasons. And innocent people have been caught in the crossfire. Despite this, you'll never see Maher, Whoopi Goldberg, or influencers like Destiny taking any accountability. In fact, some even mock those who lost their lives, doubling down on their stance. That's the kind of division we're dealing with. The left clings to January 6th as if it's their only argument. Honestly, I wish it had never happened because they use it as a weapon every time. And, as expected, Maher is about to lean on that heavily, but Ted Cruz isn't having it. He's about to shut him down. To it.
Wait. It seems like your idea has switched in the Republican Party to elections only count if we win. And then we will endlessly litigate them, even though it was laughed out of court, like 60 different courts. I mean, we have the secretaries of state, even the Republican ones. Everybody said Trump's own election people said it was one of the most fair, well-run elections ever. Why won't you let it go?
So, Bill, you're the one that's not letting it go. You're the one that's asking about it. But let me be clear about something.
I'm asking about your history.
Listen, I believe passionately in democracy, and I also believe voter fraud is a real and persistent problem. And it's weird that Democrats have taken the view.
It's been studied.
Okay, so you don't think it is, but you know what? I have never once seen you or any other host ask Hillary Clinton why she said in 2016 that Donald Trump was an illegitimate president. I've never seen you ask Democrats why they objected to the presidential certification in 2001. That was George W. Bush. In 2005, that was George W. Bush. And in 2016, that was Donald Trump. And so I don't think we should be have a double standard here.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Okay. Well, there is a double standard because there's two different things going on. One is a remonstration, a mild protestation of something. Al Gore was the head of the Senate at the time. He had to pass the baton in an election. He knew he won, and he
knew he won.
And the other
are you an election denier? You just said Al Gore won that election.
Well, he did not win.
I mean,
he won,
using
I'm
your
sorry,
definition.
you're right. I meant to say he won the popular vote.
But that's not
yes,
actually
I understand.
what chooses the
I understand. But the other candidate's brother stopped the count.
Okay, that's not accurate.
The Supreme Court stopped the count. His own brother ran that election in Florida.
Ted Cruz.
Asterisk, Ted Cruz was making a strong case, but Bill Maher cut him off before he could fully deliver his argument. And it's obvious why. Cruz was about to completely dismantle Maher's points, and Maher didn't want that to happen. The real question here is simple. Why would anyone oppose stronger election security? The fact that some people push back against ensuring fair and transparent elections should raise serious concerns. This isn't about supporting one party over another. Many people have been calling for stricter election security long before any controversial elections. It's not about whether your side wins or loses. It's about making sure the system is legitimate and trustworthy for everyone. But instead of addressing these concerns, some dismiss them outright or mock those who bring them up. And that's the real danger. Because once people lose faith in the process, democracy itself is at risk. So the real question remains, why would anyone fight against making elections more secure, more transparent, more trustworthy? That's what we should all be asking. Asterisk.
Was the governor of Florida. You know, they counted the votes. Hold on a second. I mean, facts matter. They counted the votes 4 times in Florida.
Okay.
George W. Bush won all 4 times. I was part of the legal team litigating that case, so I was intimately involved in Bush versus Gore. Every time they counted the votes, Bush won.
The bigger point is that Al Gore took one for the team. He came out and said, okay, you know, this was a really fucked up election, but this is America. The jewel in our crown is that we pass power peacefully, and I'm not going to be the first guy not to do that. Nixon let it go in 1960. That could have been a screwy election. And Hillary came out in her goddamn purple suit. So she did it before the sun rose. She did it. Before the cock crowed 3 times, she came out and said Trump is the president. That's what you guys will not do.
Joe Biden is the president. What do you mean we won't do it? I'm fighting him every day, and he's screwing up the country and the world. So I'm quite aware Joe Biden's the president. I wish he wasn't, but it's not lost on me who it is that caused a war in Europe with Ukraine, that gave $100 billion to Iran and the terrorists attacking Israel.
He caused the war in Ukraine?
Yes. Do you want to know how?
No, but next time. Thank you, Ted Cruz. I got it. All right, thank you. That was...
He has to act.
He had no choice but to wrap up the show and walk away. Because if the debate had continued, Ted Cruz would have completely exposed Bill Maher right in front of his own audience. At the end of the day, the side that avoids real discussions and refuses to engage with the facts is usually the one with the weaker argument. And this debate was a perfect example of that. But what do you think? Did Ted Cruz hold his ground? Did Bill Maher dodge the real conversation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Asterisk.